Deitrick Haddon is a multifaceted and influential figure in gospel music and ministry whose contributions have significantly impacted both industries. As an American gospel singer, songwriter, pastor, and producer, Haddon has gained recognition for his contemporary and innovative approach to gospel music. He is renowned for blending traditional gospel sounds with elements of R&B, hip-hop, and soul, which has not only modernized the genre, but has also drawn in listeners from beyond the boundaries of traditional gospel audiences. His bold and fresh take on spreading messages of faith has enabled him to reach a wide range of people, extending his influence far beyond music. Haddon's contributions are not limited to the world of gospel music. He has also made a name for himself in television and film, using these platforms to further spread his message and connect with new audiences. Born on May 17, 1973, in Detroit, Michigan, Deitrick Vaughn Haddon grew up in a deeply religious household. His parents were pastors, and this spiritual foundation played a significant role in shaping his path. From an early age, Haddon was actively involved in the church, where he honed his talents for preaching and singing. His church upbringing laid the groundwork for his career, blending his love for music with his dedication to spreading the gospel message. Throughout his career, Haddon has become synonymous with innovation and evolution in gospel music. His rise to fame began in the late 1990s when he started pushing the boundaries of what gospel music could be, incorporating contemporary sounds and modern production while maintaining the core message of the gospel. His debut album, Come Into This House, released in 1997, marked the official start of his career. The album laid the foundation for his unique style, blending traditional gospel music with R&B, hip-hop, and soul. This album set the tone for Haddon's career, establishing him as an artist unafraid to take creative risks while staying true to the spiritual core of gospel music. In 1999, Haddon released Chainbreaker, an album that further solidified his reputation as a rising star in the gospel music industry. This album was a pivotal moment in his career, marking his transition from a promising newcomer to an innovative force within the genre. The songs on Chainbreaker showcased Haddon's ability to deliver powerful messages of faith, hope, and overcoming adversity, all wrapped in contemporary sounds that resonated with younger audiences. The album's themes of spiritual liberation became a recurring motif in Haddon's music. The release of Lost and Found in 2002 marked a major turning point in Haddon's career. This album catapulted him to new heights of fame, featuring the breakout hit Sinner's Prayer. The song's heartfelt lyrics and modern sound made it an anthem of redemption and hope, speaking to both believers and those disconnected from traditional religious expressions. The album was critically acclaimed, demonstrating Haddon's ability to bridge the gap between gospel music and mainstream contemporary sounds. Following the success of Lost and Found, Haddon released Crossroads in 2004. This album continued to cement his reputation as a visionary in gospel music, blending urban beats with inspirational messages. Crossroads dealt with themes such as life's challenges, faith, and temptation, making the album relatable to a wide audience. Haddon's approach to addressing real-life issues through a lens of faith resonated deeply with listeners, showcasing his talent for writing songs that spoke to both personal and spiritual growth. In 2011, Haddon released Church on the Moon, an album that marked a significant evolution in his musical style. This project was more experimental, incorporating elements of pop, electronic, and urban music into its gospel framework. The concept behind the album revolved around the metaphor of a church on the moon, symbolizing worship that transcends earthly limitations. 2 years later, Haddon released Red, Restoring Everything Damaged, a deeply personal album reflecting his journey of redemption, healing, and rebuilding after facing public and personal challenges, including his highly publicized divorce. The album's themes of forgiveness, second chances, and hope for renewal resonated with listeners, making it both a commercial and critical success. Haddon's masterpiece, released in 2015, further demonstrated his growth and ability to innovate. Aptly titled, the album brought together Haddon's life experiences, talents, and vision. With a blend of contemporary gospel, soul, and pop, the album was praised for its production and introspective lyrics. In addition to his success in music, Haddon made significant strides in the world of television and film. His work on the reality television series Preachers of L.A., which premiered in 2013, allowed him to reach even broader audiences. The show followed the lives of high-profile pastors in Los Angeles, including Haddon, and provided an inside look at their ministry work, personal struggles, and day-to-day lives. Haddon's charisma and openness about his personal challenges, particularly his relationships and family dynamics, made him one of the most compelling figures on the show. In addition to his work on television, Haddon has been involved in faith-based films, further expanding his influence. His performances in films like Blessed and Cursed, 2010, and A Beautiful Soul, 2012, showcased his versatility as both an actor and a producer. Blessed and Cursed retells the biblical story of David and Saul, while A Beautiful Soul explores themes of fame, ego, and redemption. Throughout his career, Haddon has been known for tackling difficult issues within both the church and society. His transparency about his personal life, including his public controversies, has resonated with many people who appreciate his willingness to be open about his mistakes. This honesty has only strengthened his message of grace, redemption, and the power of faith. Deitrick Haddon's life and work serve as a powerful reminder that redemption is always possible, and his music continues to inspire listeners around the world to pursue faith, hope, and spiritual growth. Despite the many challenges he has faced, Haddon's faith in God's grace has remained unshaken, and his career stands as a testament to his resilience and dedication to spreading the gospel through his innovative and heartfelt music. Emerging from the highly competitive gospel scene in Detroit, Michigan, with its numerous and skillful traditional choirs, Deitrick Haddon has made his mark in progressive gospel styles. Drawing on a range of secular music that extended from classic soul to hip-hop, Haddon made a point of using his music as a ministry to the unchurched. Yet, his forward-looking style didn't involve any compromises when it came to the expression of faith. Haddon's music was passionate in its devotional spirit, and in performance, he interspersed his songs with spoken sermon-like material. By the mid-2000s, Haddon was contending for the gospel world's top awards. Haddon's bent towards sermonizing came naturally. Born around 1973 in Detroit, he was the son of Bishop Clarence Haddon, pastor at the Unity Cathedral of Faith, a full gospel church on the city's west side. Haddon's mother, Joyce, also became a minister. Bishop Haddon used music to attract and to help focus the lives of young people in the troubled neighborhood, organizing Trinidadian steel drum classes at the church, and incorporating the instruments into church services. But Unity Cathedral also had a choir, and Deitrick was soon enlisted to direct it. Actually, Haddon started preaching before he turned to music. Showing a gift for holding the attention of a crowd, he gave his first sermon at age 11. Soon, his mother encouraged him to take solos with Unity Cathedral's 60-voice adult choir. Haddon was reluctant at first. "I'd be crying while I was singing," he told an interviewer from the K3 Music website. "I was shy back in the day, and I hated to sing. But his parents, pushed me to do it. Sometimes I'd be sleeping, and my friends would wake me up and say, 'Hey, Dee Dee, they calling you to do a solo.' 2 years later, the church's regular choir director resigned, and young Haddon was appointed one of 2 choir directors. Haddon would remain in his choir director post for over 15 years until moving to Florida with his wife in the mid-2000s. He also served as Unity's assistant pastor. The choir took on the name Voices of Unity and became known beyond Detroit. Unity Cathedral itself grew and opened a branch in the Detroit suburb of Inkster, with such local stars as the Clark sisters and the entire Winans family gaining national exposure, and even crossing over to secular audiences, the chances of an unknown Detroiter breaking into the scene might have seemed slim. But the challenge of having famous neighbors, Haddon said, only motivated him. I believe that if commissioned and the Clark sisters can come out of Detroit and represent, then I can do it too, he told K3 Music. Signed to the small Tiscott label in 1994, Haddon and Voices of Unity issued the album Come Into This House the following year. Live the Life, released in 1997, began to put Haddon on the gospel music map as it won 2 Gospel Music Workshop of America awards, one for New Artist of the Year, Urban Contemporary, and the other for Album of the Year, Urban Contemporary. Proclaiming influences from Pastor Marvin Winans, gospel vocalist Rance Allen, and such secular stars as Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway, Sam Cooke, and even Michael Jackson, Haddon created a sound that he at first dubbed gospel soul. Though he continued to use choral elements in his music, Haddon's 1998 album, This Is My Story, was issued under his own name as a solo release. By 1999, when Haddon released Chainbreaker, he had added more new elements to the musical mix. The album featured contributions by gospel choir leader John P. Key. Haddon splashes his boundless imagination and eclecticism across a canvas of riveting, righteous R&B and hip-hop, with bold brushstrokes of everything from arena rock and funk to wildly original new millennial church choir. This is the stuff entire trends are made of, raved Billboard's Paul Verna. Indeed, Haddon and his wife Damita, a gospel singer and former member of the group Adoration and Praise, took steps to bring large numbers of young Detroiters into his unique gospel vision. The album, New Hymns, live from the Motor City, released in 2000, featured a chorus of more than 300 Detroit singers. The performances heard on the album were also released as a movie, Deitrick Haddon, New Hymns, Sing a New Song. Larger players in the gospel industry began to take note of Haddon's success, and he was signed to the Verity label. Haddon didn't cut his ties with the small label that had given him his start. When Lost and Found was released in late 2002, it bore the label imprints of both Verity and Ty Scott. Lost and Found was Deitrick Haddon's breakthrough album. With its funky, partly rapped hit single, Oh Yeah, Haddon concocted a state-of-the-art, big beat, hip-hop influenced sound that still left room for traditional call and response between leader and congregation. If Jesus Christ is running your life, say, oh yeah. Haddon was sometimes compared with the similarly eclectic gospel singer Tonex, and like that California-based artist, he tried to head off criticism from those who might feel his style was too secular. Someone who doesn't know Jesus can listen to this and relate, he told the K3 Music website. A lot of times we tend to be self-righteous in our approach, and we alienate people who don't know. The slow, soulful Sinner's Prayer became another hit from Lost and Found, and the album cracked the top 10 of Billboard magazine's Gospel Albums chart and the top 20 of its Contemporary Christian Albums chart. Haddon garnered a Grammy Award nomination for Best Contemporary Soul Gospel Album and picked up several of the gospel industry's stellar award nominations. Crossroads, the 2004 follow-up to Lost and Found, featured the same mix of styles as did its predecessor and sold even better. Haddon enjoyed his first #1 gospel recording and made the top 40 of Billboard's top R&B/hip-hop albums chart. A collection of Haddon's earlier material was issued by Ty Scott under the title Just the Hits in 2005. Deitrick Haddon's sense of clothing style matched his musical originality. At a 2004 concert at Virginia's Old Dominion University, reported Deanne M. Bradley of the Virginian Pilot, the new era gospel music soul prodigy sprinted onto the stage dressed in indigo jeans and a matching jacket. I feel like having church in here. I dare you to praise him in here tonight, Haddon exclaimed to the same Virginia crowd. As he looked toward the mature phase of his career, Haddon seemed to be the artist who could combine contemporary musical styles with a hardcore gospel message.